Hey folks, this is Jeff of SimSamurai.net. I wanted to make a tutorial video for you CS-1 Stallion builders on how to mount your door hinges and mount the door frame to the front door jamb on the cockpit. Basically what I did first is I pre-assembled the front wall section. This is actually for a customer, so the walls on each side are in two parts. So I had assembled the front part. You can do the same thing as far as just assembling the outer frame of the wall before you mount the doors, and then I always build the doors individually. As you can see here, the whole door is complete. And once the door is fully complete, you want to mount your door hinge on the door. And how I did that is I made a 12-inch measurement coming down, and then I mounted to the top side of that 12-inch measurement. And when you put the hinge to mark it, you want to make sure that your hinge pin is facing up. So get the door positioned properly. Make sure that your outer face of the door is facing out. It should be your rougher edges, of course, with your nicer, smoother edges all facing inwards. And then make a 12-inch mark across this, and then mount your hinge. And basically to set that hinge in place, I used a piece of scrap 3/8 inch, and this is very important that you use the same piece of scrap for all your hinge. I taped it to here, and then I just made sure that it's flush with the outside edge of the hinge right there. So I'm using the 3/8 inch, 12 there, and then I had marked it, and then I just set two screws in place. Of course, I pre-drilled the holes first once I had marked these holes out with a circle. Pre-drilled them all, but then just for mounting purposes, I just put the two outer screws in. So that's how you want to do it. Do it for both top and bottom. Same thing, 12 inches up from the bottom. So I think if the hinge is 4 inches, it's actually going to leave you with 8 inches left over on the top and bottom. So you got about 8 here and then another 4 there. Same thing on the bottom. So again, you want to do that. Get the hinges mounted with 2 screws each. Set your door in place, and then hold the door up against your wall frame, as you see here. And what you're going to want to do is use some pieces of material down at the bottom. I'm using a piece of 5/8 inch wood, and then actually just a shim of some cardboard, and that's to get my bottom height. And of course I've got a 2x4 where the rest of the C member, or wall member C, goes up underneath. And then on top of C is a piece of 5/8 inch plywood, and then a piece of cardboard. So you just want to shim that up. And what you're wanting to do is make sure that these wall members here, right here, and then down here are flush and level. So you want this piece to exactly be the same height as this. Same thing here. So just make sure they're straight and level. And then once that's done, just press the door up against, I guess you'd call this the door jamb piece. And then take a sharp pencil, make sure it's nice and sharp, and then just carefully mark right there and right there where the hinge is going to go on your door jamb side. Same thing, you're going to do it for the bottom, here and here. You want to make sure your pencil is as close to the corner as possible, so that you know where your mount for your door jamb mounting hinge is going to go. And so once that's done, you can just set the door aside, and as you can see, I now have 2 marks here, there and there, and also on the bottom for where the hinges now need to go on the door jamb. And as you can see, I've already taken a piece of 3/8 inch plywood, and I have taped that to this side as well. And so same thing, now I will take these hinges off the door and then mount them over here in the same fashion that I put them on the door. I'm going to put them on the door jamb side, use this piece of 3/8 inch as a reference guide for how far out the hinge needs to go. Trace the outer edges of the hinge, trace the circles, and then pre-drill the 4 holes for where your holes need to go. And an important thing to note about pre-drilling all these holes for the hinges is you want to use a smaller drill bit. I use a 3/32 inch drill bit. This is because the screws are a little smaller. You want the screw, because it's a door hinge, to bite the wood more and make a tighter fit. It's still important to pre-drill, but rather than use a 1/8 inch drill bit, which is what I use for the rest of the wall frame joints, you want to make sure that you use a 3/32 inch diameter, and you only want to drill about 3/4 of an inch deep also for the penetration depth of your screw holes. Again, that's really important because you're going to have the whole weight of the door frame hanging off these 8 screws. So just make sure you use the right size diameter drill bit and drill the holes to a proper depth. And I guess that's about it for mounting door frame hinges. This could also apply to the HX-1 Habu as well. But again, this is a little tutorial for the CS-1 Stallion. That's it. Thanks for watching this quick tutorial video on door hinge mounting. And that's it from Jeff at simsamurai.net, and we'll see you in the air. Bye.